Welcome back, guys, to my F125 driver career mode. Here in episode 2, we're at the Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. The cars felt pretty solid in practice this weekend, and I think points are definitely on the table here as we begin our first qualifying lap in Q1. Here in Sector 1, we're doing okay so far through the S's, even with a little bit of dirty air from Hajar just slightly ahead of us. We'll follow him here into the Dunlop curve, hoping to stick just close enough to him to get some slipstream in the second half of the lap. I think the goal today is to be getting to Q3, and as we take a lot of curb there, maybe a bit too much even. I think, like I was saying, I think the goal today will be just getting to Q3, and then ideally into the points here. I really think the pace is there for us this weekend. And here's exactly what I'm talking about. We should be able to use the slipstream from Hajar here for about the rest of this lap as we start accelerating out of the hairpin and towards the spoon curve. I'm going to look to the inside here and just overtake him. He's too slow, and I go wide. Somehow don't disallow, and Sainz is kind of in the way here. Looks like this is going to be causing us a bit of time here, and we'll probably end up losing some lap time overall. Probably going to need to go for another run to secure our entry into Q2 as we finish the lap up here nice and tidy. Not going too crazy here, just trying to secure the banker, and it is not going to be a great one, but not terrible here. Alright, second run in Q1 though. The track's evolved. I got some data now, and this is where I got to find some time. This one really needs to count. We have 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the session, so I don't have time for another run. This is it right here. First couple of turns, not great so far, about even with our last lap. Like I said, these S's have been giving me trouble all weekend, really. We're about to lose our time here going through the Dunlop curve. And we're going to hope to take a little less curve than last time. And that's just about perfect. That's about as good as I think I can take that curve as we approach the hairpin now. Gaining time. I think we'll lose a bit coming out of the traction zone here as we don't have the slipstream from Hajar this time. But hopefully we're going to make it all back after we clean up our spoon curve entry and ultimately exit here. So we're approaching here. Don't want to be too fast in here. Just get it stopped, and I think we're going to be good here. Already up about a tenth, and I think we're going to keep gaining. Yeah, 2, 3 tenths. I think we're just going to keep gaining until the end of the lap here. Almost up 4 tenths as we approach 130R here. 4.5 tenths, actually. Wow. So we go into the final big braking zone here. Get it stopped, just about. Lose a little time, not too much, though. Down on the power, not too early. So we're going to take the inside line here. And we're going to come
right, that's us pushed down into P15.
P13, it looks like, here with the 132.8. And you know what? I think I'm happy with that. You know, left some time on the table, but that's the job done for Q1. Let's go on to Q2. Alright, and because I used 2 sets of softs in Q1, I only have 1 set here in Q2, so this lap is going to have to be pretty much perfect. This is going to be my best shot at reaching Q3. I'll need to be as good as I can be here. As we go through Sector 1, this is about as good as I've done it all weekend. The car is really coming alive for me at this point. Going through the Dunlop curve now. Let's try to learn from our mistakes here at this next corner. Take just enough curb, not too much. Get on the left side here, and that's about perfect. That's as good as I think I can take that corner. I would be lucky to take it that well every time in the race here.
We're right on the cusp now. We've been pushed down to P11.
And as Mark says here, down to P11. This has to be a good one here if we're going to make Q3 right on the cusp, as he said. A little early on the power here out of the hairpin. Little loss of traction, little wheel spin, but I think we're going to be okay. Going down into the spoon curve here now. Yes, much better than that first lap in Q1. Get down to the power, no wheel spin. Accelerating towards 130R, and I drift into the grass a little bit. I don't know why. There was no reason for me to drift out that far. I just kind of lost focus for a second. Into 130R. We're looking okay on this lap here. And we go a little deep into the last chicane here, and that might cost us our entrance into Q3. It's going to be close, and I only have this lap, remember. We'll see as we get to run to the line here. 132.6. It's going to be P10. But it'll be P11, losing out by just over a tenth to Liam Lawson there in 10th place. And that's going to conclude qualifying for us. Let's get on to the race.
Welcome along then to the magnificent Suzuka International Circuit, a stone's throw away from Issei Bay in the beautiful Japanese countryside. What surprises lie in wait for us today in the Japanese Grand Prix? So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Piastri, Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc and Russell, Hamilton, Albon, Antonelli, Haas, Sainz, Alonso, Pierre Gasly, Doohan, Lawson, Bortoletto, Lance Stroll and Isaac Hadjar. Behrman and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And we welcome you to the commentary box overlooking the circuit. I'm Alex Jakes and I'm joined by Anthony Davidson. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
So, like I said earlier, I think points are totally on the cards for today. It's all about staying out of trouble early while being aggressive and gaining whatever places we can. For strategy, I think we're going to start on the hard tires and then take them as long as possible, and then hopefully we'll get faster with each pit stop as we step down a tire in terms of hardness, and then that'll let me push all the way to the checkered flag.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one. It will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
So here we are at the start line here, and as the lights go out, we are racing at Suzuka. We get a bit of a wheel spin here. We already got Carlos Sainz along the outside. I'm going to hold my line here through turn 1. I'm not backing out. He goes ahead of us, and we claim that right back. We're right on the gearbox of Kimi Antonelli here. Carlos Sainz is still hanging around as we go into the S's here until we finally settle into a line here as we go through the S's again. I go a little bit deep here. Carlos Sainz looks like he's going to make a move, and he settles back in again. And then, geez, it looks like he completely washed out in my dirty air and ended up in the gravel. That might be it for him. He may be stuck in there. We're going to try to just settle into the race here, as Mark tells us we're doing a good job. I think so too, Mark. We're going to go take a look around the outside. Nothing really there. burn a little battery here on the edge of the hairpin, or on the exit rather. And we're gonna see if we can get a move done here really quickly in this first lap. And looks like everyone around us is on hards here. That is interesting to me. Seems like we might not have a strategy advantage as of right now, so we're really just fighting for position here. There is no tire games to be played, no strategy. We're gonna make all these places matter here right now as we're gonna look up the inside of Alex Albon, but ultimately we're gonna back out here. Like I said on the formation lap, we're trying to stay out of trouble
DRS now enabled.
let the race
DRS
come to
enabled.
us. We're planning on being faster in this race at the end here as we look to just make this move stick on the outside of Albon. A lot of people have had problems with the straight line speed against the AI, and well, I can totally see where they're coming from. It didn't really seem to matter there. We passed Albon on that straight with no DRS, given that it was the first lap, and it didn't really seem like that big of a deal. So I don't know if they're maybe just a bad exit, maybe they're slow on this track, but that didn't seem to be an issue for us as we go way too far deep into the hairpin here, and looks like it's going to give an opportunity for Albon to catch up to us a little bit. It looks like two different trains are starting to form as we get a little deeper into the race here. I'd like to not be that car that falls away from this lead pack, but I just might not have the performance in the Haas right now as we're burning the battery, trying to make up that gap to Russell on the hards. I don't expect to stay up with Hamilton. That's obviously that tire compound difference will be a big factor, especially early on here as those softs are fresh. But I'm just trying to maybe stay with George Russell here, and hopefully he can kind of drag us along with that much better car in the Mercedes than my Haas. But even it looks like he is struggling as he's now about 2 seconds down from Hamilton. Looks like we're going to be looking to make up our time on those groups in the second half of the race after their tires are a little worn out, or at least second half of this stint, I should say. Now approaching my favorite turn, as you can see from qualifying, turn 8, the Degner curve, and yeah, just way too much curve on that one. Not great. Get a bit of a wheel spin on exit here, and slight lockup here. It's just not going great for us right now in this sector. On this lap, I'm overdriving the car a little bit, trying to make up that gap to Russell, and also trying to keep Albon away from me. He is consistently within 0.6 of me. Looks like he's even gaining a little more now as I'm drifting out wide and trying to desperately burn the battery to get away from him. It looks like it is inevitable that he's going to come past me here. Oh, maybe I can hold him off for a little bit, as I doubt he wants to go through 130R. He is not Fernando Alonso, and I am not Michael Schumacher. As we head into the start of the fourth lap here, I think he's going to get me here on this straight. Just given how good a passing opportunity is, I try to squeeze him a little bit, but way too much overspeed. And it looks like Antonelli's going to also try to make himself part of the party here. He is within 0.3 of me now. Looks like he followed Albon up the road, and even Alonso is within a second of us now. So we have ourselves a little pack here, and I want to really, the goal is going to be stay ahead of Alonso, because I feel like if he gets ahead of me on those medium tires, he's going to run away from me. A little farther into the race now, about a lap later. Still in this little group here, trying desperately to drop Antonelli, make this a one-on-one, if you will, between me and Albon for 8th place. If I can, even if I don't beat him for 8th place, using him to secure 9th place, that would be huge for us. Let us help each other. Obviously we want to pass him if we can and take home that 8th place and maybe even get higher. But using the Williams to allow us to secure points and beat a Mercedes, I will take that every day of the week. That is a great accomplishment for us, beating a Mercedes, getting points on the board. 2 points for us in this start of the season could be huge.
You're gaining on the car ahead.
Wow, I cannot believe that. A purple sector in a Haas in Season 1. That's actually unbelievable. That has to be due to some insane slipstream from Albon here. And the tires aren't even exactly fresh, as you can see from the MFD here. 20% on the left rear. That is wild from us. That's maybe that's a sign of good things to come later in this race as we go a little farther into the lap here. Back on the 130R here. Just trying to see if I can inch my way closer to Albon little by little. Looks like maybe I'll get up on him a little bit here. Have to be a little bit of oversteer on the exit of the last chicane here.
And you're going to be on mediums.
And as Mark was saying there, you're going to be pitting here soon. As I try to hang it around the outside, it's not going to work though. The Williams is just a bit too fast for me in that straight line. So we're going to try to maintain our gap here, even close up a little bit if we can. Like I've been saying, kind of all video here, the S's are my weakest part of this track. If I can maintain my gap here, that's a win for me. Go through the Degner again. And again, way too much curb. I'm trying to be as aggressive as I can here because that's obviously a great spot to make up time, but it's also a great spot to lose time if you want to take too much curb like that. We are good to the hairpin here. Get a great exit, run on the outside here of Albon, and it's going to turn into the inside of the spoon curve here. And we're rapidly approaching Hamilton as well. We're going to a little argy-bargy, little bang of the tires here, but we do get the move done. We're going to deploy all that battery here on the exit. Try to get as far away from him as we can. And thanks, Mark. That was a nice move. I did enjoy that. We're going to try to see if we can sneak up to Hamilton here and get some DRS. Not going to happen this lap. Maybe next lap here if he doesn't pit. I'll try to use the speed of that Ferrari and he does go in. That is a shame. Looks like Albon might get us right back here. He's going to have DRS. I'm going outside. I attempt to go for the squeeze. I'm too late. And we're back where we started. But I'll tell you what. It's only been 9 laps in this race, but we've been battling every single lap. And almost every corner, it feels like. We're always trying to either line up and overtake or put ourselves in a defensive position to avoid being overtaken here. And the only really time we're not doing that is through these S's here, which you can't really overtake in anyway. So I'm totally okay with that. This has been just one of the most fun races I think I've driven in a long time on an F1 game. And we're in 9th. It's not like we're racing for the win or anything. It's just been a fun battle the whole time. It looks like we're going to try again on Albon here. Try to hopefully stick it on the outside. Exit just isn't good enough here. I'm going to actually bump draft him a little bit. Push him through that corner and follow him into the spoon curve here. Deploying battery on the exit. Looking to make an overtake here. Maybe into the chicane. Maybe through 130R. Doesn't look like we're going to quite be there for 130R. But we are going to be there for the chicane here. He's going to come over in front of us and totally kind of cut us off there. We had the overspeed on him. I don't know why he would come over in front of us like that and just make us run into him. But we're going to take the DRS, and that will be see you later, Albano. As he goes to pit, we're going to push hard on the in-lap, as Mark says here, and make sure that we have minimal time loss to the undercut of Albon. And I really found the overcut to be an interesting strategy in this game. I don't think it's as powerful as the undercut in most situations, But I do think if you can make your tires last longer than the AI, or
Okay,
really
gap to the
anyone
car ahead,
you're racing against in this,
10.2 seconds.
I do think that the way tire wear is much higher in this game compared to previous games, it does present you with some interesting options for later in the race. You know, maybe you can stretch it to a one-stop, or even just have more life in the tires. Now, there's a difference between stretching out your stint in, you know, driving longer on worn tires versus keeping the tires healthy. And I think that's why we're going to come in here, is because we're at the point where we're starting to beat the cliff. Verstappen is going to pass us back here after his stop. And we don't want to be out here on 40% tires. We would rather just pit and take the faster tires that we're going to have anyway and just deal with the tire wear later. But, oh, actually, I'm mistaken. I think we're going to go one more lap here because I thought that the only tire that's really at the cliff at this stage is the 35% left rear. So we can probably squeeze out one more lap here before we really need a box. However, I think we may have made a miscalculation here. Ideally, we would not be getting passed by multiple drivers before we make our pit after they have made their pit stop. But Max Verstappen has already passed us. He's gone. He's 2.5 seconds up the road as we have a bit of oversteer there. And Piastri is going to dive the inside of us at the hairpin. No point in really fighting him. We can get a better exit, but his soft tires are going to allow him to just grip up faster and have more grip overall. Take a look at the inside, but I'm really just teasing him. No point in fighting him. Let's just run our race here and let him run his. We're not really racing him today anyway. It's more of a coincidence we're on the same track. Looking behind us on the map here in the bottom left, I'm really hoping we're going to come out ahead of Albon or Antonelli, I guess. I'm not really sure what happened there. There's a big pack there. Can't really tell who's who in that pack. Gonna make sure to use 100% of the tires, get my money's worth there as we lock up on the pit entry. And hopefully we get a good turn in. We do. Now we just want a good stop. I found that right there. Bad slow stops. I feel like they're more common this year. I don't know how to deal with that. On the one hand, it does happen in real life, but it also just kind of feels bad. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. We have Liam Lawson fly by us on the pit exit. Insane. Acts like we're not even there. We can't exactly jump out of the way, jump behind him, because we'll get a penalty for crossing the white line there.
Okay, mate, we've got more fuel in hand than we need, so let's
I'm thinking we messed up
and
with our strategy here. I don't think Liam Lawson should be ahead of us. We should definitely be ahead of Kimi Antonelli, who is now 4 seconds up the road. And I have no idea where Alex Albon is. And yep, this is, yep, according to plan right there. That is exactly what I wanted to do. My favorite corner on the track, for sure. Took the optimal line there. The racing line, not optimal, for sure. We're going to dump the battery here, going into the spoon curve. Again, just looking to catch Lawson, let him use those soft tires to drag us forward up to Antonelli. I think we've really miscalculated here, unless he's still on his original soft tires, which I really doubt. And I'm going to cry if Bortoleto passes us in a salver after we were fighting for P8 earlier in this race. We're going to get, hopefully, in the DRS range of Lawson here. Looks like we're not going to get. I feel like we'd earned it, but maybe we caught him in the braking zone and not before it where the DRS zone is. I'm going to do everything in my power here to defend against Bortoletto. I'm not getting passed by a Sauber. I don't care if it ruins our race. I'm going to just see if we can do what we can here to catch Lawson again. I think those soft tires really don't have a crazy lifespan, so if we can just hang around for a little bit on his mediums, they should become the better race tire pretty quickly, honestly. Let's see if we can take a more robust line through this corner here. Nope. Again, a lot of curb. That was better. It wasn't in the grass. And we pointed our car in the right direction the whole time. So, improvements. Ideally, just take a little bit of curb and not go flying. But, you live and you learn. We are a rookie after all. I think this lap here, we are going to get Lawson. Can look at the inside. Try to sell him a dummy. He doesn't bite on it. That's okay though. Get right up on him. Dump the battery again out of the spoon curve. You can probably tell I have some spots where I like to use the battery, and we are making up ground on Antonelli. Actually, if you look at it, we are about a second up from where we were. So that is maybe the greatest move of the video right there. He was coming across to block us, coming from the inside to the racing line, and I said, all right, if you're going to give up the inside, I will take it. And with the DRS, we've already almost dropped him. And looking to gain on Antonelli, but I think we might struggle here as we won't have slipstream or the advantage of tires to carry us up to Antonelli. It's going to be all about our race pace, and I don't know if we are going to be faster than a Mercedes today. And would you look at that? As I say that, just a little bit later here, we are within a second and a half of Antonelli, and I think that stretching our tires longer in that first stint has actually allowed us to be a little quicker than him at the end of this second stint, as his tires are dying and our tires still have a decent amount of life in them. We're gaining multiple tenths on him in just the last sector alone. I think we're going to get DRS here. And there is Albon. That's not good. He's past Lewis Hamilton. So it looks like we're going to have to hope Lewis passes him back if we're going to get Albon, because I don't see us getting past a Ferrari in what is essentially a toned down Ferrari in this Haas. It is same powertrain, worse everything else, I would imagine. So we're going to just hope we can get Antonelli here. And it looks like Lewis did the hard work for us already. He must have been listening to this commentary here as he passes Albon. And maybe he can back him up into Antonelli as we look to go catch. Look at that. We can do it. We can do that turn with minimal flying off the curb into the air. Going to go into the hairpin again here. Little oversteer on the exit. Not too bad, though. And I think we can hopefully get Antonelli out of the spoon curve. It's going to be a close one here, but using his slipstream, and maybe if we get a good exit here. This is not it, though. Not a great line. Typically want to avoid that inside curve if possible, just to help your run. But it doesn't matter. His tires must be absolutely cooked if I can make a move up here into 130R. And I referenced Alonso and Schumacher earlier. I don't think Antonelli has a wife and kids at home, but I wasn't backing out no matter what. Hamilton and Albon box again. So I'm going to get undercut for the second time by Albon. I really think I should go in this lap as Antonelli and Leclerc get me. So all that work was for nothing, it seems. I am right back down into 8th place. And Antonelli's doing a pretty good job of holding up Leclerc.
Leclerc is ahead of you. We don't
oh, thanks, Mark. Thanks for telling me to overtake him after I already did it, and then he got me back. That's pretty cool.
Right,
and it's not even Leclerc, actually, now that I think about it. It is, so overtake the guy 2 spots ahead of you is the goal. That's awesome. That's pretty sweet. Thanks for that one, Mark. Regardless, I don't think it'll matter. Lap 19 and 27 here. The tires are getting pretty cooked at this point. I think we're going to try to box for softs and have a bit of a sprint to the finish here. Closing up on these guys at the end of the stint here. We are going to go in on this lap, get those soft tires, and like I said, push to the end. Looks like Antonelli did make up some time here. We're going to break a little early. I was really nervous about getting a 10-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. I figured I'd rather be safe than sorry here. Hopefully we get a better pit stop than last time. The smooth one here. Looks like we did. We are way overfueled. I don't know if you saw that in the bottom right corner in the MFD there, but we were 1.6 laps over. So that is definitely costing us some speed in this race. Maybe I could have pushed the medium tires to the end here, but figured we would set a plan and stick to it for this race before we start messing with strategies here. We have, looks like 3.5 seconds almost to make up in 8 laps to beat Albon. It's going to be close, but, you know, fresher tires, I think we can do it. A lap later, we are within 1 second and 3/10 of Alonso. Don't know where he came from. That is interesting. But we are gaining rapidly, and it looks like the strategy I had at the beginning of the race is working, where we're going to be getting faster and faster and faster, and hopefully our fresh soft tire will be fresher than everyone else's, or at least we'll be faster on them than anyone else. Looks like we are going to be in a three-way battle here for 8th, and on the right side, looks like points are kind of guaranteed at this point, as long as that Mercedes of Antonelli doesn't come make himself a threat here with 6 laps to go. But I think we'll be okay. Pushing on now.
Okay,
Mark
mate,
wants to give
we want
us
to make
a
sure we're saving some
ERS goal
so
here.
Let's try and charge it up now.
Yeah, let's save ERS to 55%. That's really not a big deal, Mark. I can do that by accident if I want to, but I really think I should be trying to catch these guys if at all possible before they run away. Well, I guess it's only the 2 of them, so worst case scenario, they do some DRS swapping. As we go into the hairpin here, this is going to be one of my better entries, at least. The exit, not perfect. It wasn't terrible, but not perfect. We did gain a lot of time here, and that is good. 6/10 now down on Alonso. 5/10.
Oh, mate, you made that look easy.
And like I
Nice
said,
work.
you know,
That's why I love working with you.
working on that
Smashed it.
ERS, not really a concern of mine. Just kind of happened by accident, running on medium. Looks like Alonso is going to stay behind in 130R. Albon's medium tires are kind of scaring me at this point because they are only going to get better and better as ours get worse and worse, comparatively speaking anyway. And I want to get this move done quickly, but first I have to get up to him. As you saw me check the MFD there, I'm worried about this, and I'm starting to overdrive the car now. I'm getting desperate, trying to do what Alonso just did, get the move done, run out ahead, and hopefully the gap I can build is bigger than the gap in pace we'll have when Albon's tires are better. Alonso already 8/10 away at this point. That is just crazy. He must have way faster tires than us. Again, if I could take that corner right, we would probably be up at Albon at this point. Well, let's see here, coming out of the hairpin. AI are definitely slower out of this than I am, which means it is a pretty good spot for me to make up a lot of time. Alonso is gone. He has 8th place. We are fighting for 9th at this point. It is so over for us in our 8th place hopes. We are doing everything we can now to get 9th as we bit of oversteer. Again, just too eager to get up to Albon. Dumping the battery down the straight, down to 16%. It's not looking good. We're going to get this move done, I think, diving up to the inside. Pretty great move, if I do say so myself. but I worry that might be we might have sold out a little too hard to get that move done, just to have him pass us back here later.
Okay, so we're leading
We
our
do have the
teammate
DRS.
by
That'll help us build a bit of a gap,
30.0 seconds.
but his tires are just better. As we get to the next lap here, he's got DRS on us now. Alonso, like I said, he's gone. 4.5 seconds away. Congratulations to him. That's 8th place. Albon gets us back here. 3 laps left. We're in a sprint now. Dead sprint. Antonelli is gaining. I don't know if he's gaining enough at this point, though. 2.2 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that gap here. And I think realization is starting to set in for me at this point that Albon is faster. I don't know if it's the car. Definitely the tires are helping. It's just we may have been too aggressive in our earlier pit stops, and that may have caused us to lose just a bit of overall time here. Maybe not, though. We're gonna give it a good college try here as we hang it around the outside. It's gonna become the inside again here of the spoon curve to make the move stick. But I really don't want to be leading on this section of the track here because I want the DRS down the straight. I think we're going to kind of end up with the same thing as last time, where I'll lead into the chicane, but Albon is going to just come right back at me down the DRS straight. As go forward a little bit, and yep, he's got me. And Antonelli is here. He's arrived on the scene. Because that is not great for us. If Antonelli passes us here, points are off the table. Points are we're out of the points. It's over. Our hard work today will be for nothing, and that is an emphasis on the hard there. This has been a battle, a slog, mainly with Albon. But we've been fighting Antonelli all race. It's kind of a shame for him. He's not going to get points. Alonso's come out of nowhere in this last stint and passed all of us. So I don't know what Aston Martin are cooking over there, but they apparently know something we do not. Even Stroll is down there in 13th, which is much better than Sainz or all you can say. So we're heading on to the final lap here. I will have the DRS, but I might be too far away at this point. I'll be probably 5/10 coming out of this chicane here. I don't know if that'll be enough. Especially that doesn't help. Grass is typically not conducive to the grip here, and I get a bit of oversteer, wheel spin, whatever you want to call it, as I come out of the corner, and I'm not going to be able to set up a move here. I'm going to go a little deep into the first corner, doing everything I can. I don't have a ton of battery, so I'm going to have to try to conserve a little bit and save it for the back straight here. Maybe I can make a dive into the chicane like I did earlier on Lawson and Albon. I really could use a good Degner here. That was maybe the worst one of the day. Awesome. Great. Not ideal here. Max is going to take the win. Shocker. He is insane in this game. I don't really understand it. Kind of just absolutely wild. We're gonna give it a shot here on Albon. Not looking good here. 10th place looks like it is secure. Antonelli's falling away, dumping all the battery. A little bit of oversteer. And yeah, looks like that's gonna be it. Could see if maybe we gain a bunch of time through 130R here. See down to 5% on the battery. There's no move to be made into the chicane. My last opportunity here, get a better exit than him. And it doesn't happen. I actually get a terrible exit. Almost lose the car. Almost lose all the points here. But you know what? We will take 10th place. And we will take points in the Japanese Grand Prix. Overall, a successful race.
A sensational drive once again. Max Verstappen takes the checkered flag.
And of course, what 3 race victories, a hat-trick of wins, does for a driver's confidence is huge going forward in the championship. You know, they've got the energy on their side now, and it's for the others to try and stop this progression of victories.
The top 3 have scrapped on the racetrack. They will now line up next to each other, the best of this race. Well, we've seen this one before. Max Verstappen on the top step once again.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that race. It was hard fought all the way to the end, you know, P11 to P10, but it really felt like it was a lot more than that. If you did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments where I could have found a few tenths. Obviously, the Dagner is one of them. But yeah, until next time, guys, I will see you in the next one.